Is there a Typeform killer over at AppSumo? Well, no, not exactly, but there's at least a PaperForm rival. Stay tuned, I'll tell you all about it. Hi, I'm Dave Swift from LTD.life, where I review software tools with lifetime offers. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell if you like lifetime deals. Today, we are talking about Aidaform. I believe this is a take on the classic AIDA style of copywriting: attention, interest, desire, and action. However, this is much more like a Typeform, PaperForm, JotForm type of software as a service. So where this might differ from Fluent Forms, which I reviewed on this channel right around Black Friday, is that was a WordPress plugin, and this is a software as a service. So you'll quickly see what that means if it's confusing to you. Now we're looking at the plans and codes here. For a single code, you'll get 5 websites. For a double code, you get 10 websites. And for a triple code, you get unlimited websites. Now, the catch here is when they say websites, what they really mean is a custom subdomain on their primary domain. You don't get any CNAMEs at all. That is not an option so far for this deal. It is in talks. They're considering maybe adding this to the roadmap down the line, but we don't buy in roadmaps here. So just know that going in. Everything else is going to be fairly unlimited, with the one major kind of hiccup being how much storage you get in terms of 5 gigabytes. That doesn't scale with each code. So, just pretty limited amount of storage if you're going to be uploading video or audio to your forms. But hey, let's just show you what a form looks like. These things are beautiful. I made this in about 10 seconds, just threw some stuff in. Let's go ahead and see what the form looks like. You can see the way I have it styled right now, it is very similar to a type form where we got this kind of focus mode going on here. I can enter in some information. There are key commands. I can press Control Enter to proceed to the next screen. Now I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to press Command Enter, and that goes through. Be nice if they had some way to sense what type of browser you're using or what type of platform you're on to update that copy. I don't know how difficult that would be. Enter your phone number. That's what this looks like. I can go ahead and move to the next one. You can see there is a nice little animated icon. Let me see if I can reload the page here, what happens. Actually, it's probably going to kick me out to the beginning of the form. That's good to know too. Doesn't actually save your progress, won't bring you back to where you're at. So let's go ahead and move through. You can see how that little animation comes in there. I think that's a nice little touch. There it is on the pencil. And this is some text. Let's go ahead and press Command Enter again. Here's a multiple choice question. What they look like, again, has a nice little animation as you hover over it. And the buttons have a nice feel to them too. This is a style of button. You can change this later. We'll look at this. We have drop-down questions. All right, so that is what the form looks like. I have it going to their default thank you page. Of course, this is completely customizable. There was some people upset that they had early on, they had some branding here that has been removed now, and they've just got the report abuse. As you can see, as we scroll through here, there's a report abuse icon at the bottom of every form, just so that no one's doing anything illegal inside of the form builder. So now you've seen how beautiful they are. Let's actually go into the back end here and create a form. So this is the form that you just saw inside of their editor. You see I've got an image up here. I can easily click on that, and it integrates with Pixabay here, and we can grab some nice beautiful images, or of course we can upload our own. All right, it shows a nice landscape here. This is a heading. I can open up the form elements here and I can change this around. I just made this from scratch. Now I should mention there are a lot of beautiful looking templates. We'll take a look at those in a second, but I'm going to show you how this form builder works, because I think it is probably one of the best features of this tool is how nice and smooth it is to create forms. So down below, I asked for someone's name as well as their phone number, but maybe I want to capture, say, their email address. Well, I can just drag and drop this in here, and it says your email. It's got the little symbol already chosen for me. But what if I don't like that symbol? Well, I can click the little gear here, and they've got a list of different options. I'm going to go ahead and choose this little pencil right here. I can change the description. If I wanted to change the placeholder text, I could do that. I can make this required or not, and I could remove the description altogether if your email is enough and I don't need to type in anything in the description box. Now you're going to see I've got a page break here, and I can actually publish this several different ways. If I go over to the setup screen and we go over to traits, we were looking at what they call a conversational UI, which puts one question on each page. That's why we had to press Command Enter so many times. I can turn that off, and then it's going to be much more like a single page form builder that you're probably used to seeing. Let's go ahead and preview the form now. Now remember, I did have a page break after the email line, so here is that page break. And I'll just continue to the next page here so you can see that all of the questions are on the same page. And I did add in this text. I was just playing around with the text field. Now as I answer a question and go to the next one, I still get that nice animation. You can see the little line connecting here. When I choose the answer to the question and go down to the next one, it does animate and has just a really nice polished feel to it. These little animations as you go from question to question feel really delightful to use, and they just make the whole experience of filling out a form a little bit more whimsical. Now, I know that's not going to be for everyone, but a certain type of user is really going to appreciate this nice little touch. So back over in this setup, now this is on a form by form basis. If you don't want to use the conversational UI, you can also turn on just autofocus, which will zoom you to that first question on the form. You can also turn on something called key bindings, which are essentially those keyboard shortcuts. So you get the notifications above the buttons, what to do to progress without using your mouse. And there is also auto scroll, which will always keep the form kind of centered in the middle of the page if it's a really long form. All right, let's add in one of their nice templates. We'll go a little deeper in with the form builder here. Let's go to my test form and we'll create a new form. Call this that LTD life, hit next. And I can either start blank or I can use a template because we've already seen a blank template built out, a blank form built out, excuse me. Let's look at the templates they have here. You can see there's quite a few. They've got this nice sorting at the top. So why don't we do something like a Instagram bio link page? That would be something like Shoreby, right? Kind of interesting that they have this here. So this would be link in the bio type of thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. There are 3 different templates for Instagram bio links. We can do a bio link contact page with links to social media, an order form, or a profile link with registration form. I'm going to go ahead and just choose this order form. We can see some of the PayPal integrations that they have built out. All right, so here is the template. And you can see that this is for some kind of a bakery. They've got 4 different baked goods here with a price. Now, what I could do is if I wanted to buy one of these, actually, let's look at it from the front end here. If I wanted to buy one of these, it's actually going to give me a shortcut to different pages inside of the form. So as it is, the form is, let me close this little disclosure. The form itself is very long. So if I click on this right here, chocolate cupcakes, it's actually going to zoom me ahead to, I think it's like page 3 or 4 inside of the form. Now from here, I could click the order button and that'll take me to a different page on the form where I can enter in my name and address, and I can add how many, as you can see, all of those images weren't actually to order anything. It just takes you to the order section inside of the order form. So let's say I wanted to get 6 chocolate cupcakes. I can go ahead and add them right here. And you can see the total is updating. Let's add in 1 carrot pie. That sounds delicious. All right, we'll hit order and pay. And now, of course, because I didn't enter in everything, it's not going to allow me to go further. And I haven't set up any PayPal integrations, but that is what would happen next. Let's go back over to the builder and I'll kind of walk you through how this is happening on the back end. All right, so once again, here we are. Here is the cupcake. If I click on this, I can choose this little gear icon. And you can see here that we've got this overall layout having 2 columns. And then I've got the $3 cupcake. When I click on that, it's going to go to page 2. We've got the apple spice right here for $18. When I click on that, it's going to go to page 3, or else, you can see these other options for the other items. All right, so that is kind of how this main navigation is set up here. And then as we scroll down, we can see here is a page break, and here is the description of the cupcakes, which we kind of saw. I think I went to the apple spice page, or maybe it was a different one, but you get the idea. Each product has its own page that describes the item and gives you the ability to order. And when you click the order button, what it's doing is jumping you over to page 6. So we'll go down here past all the items. And here is page 6, which is that order form. We've got, all the contact information. You're basically building out almost an entire e-commerce store just with this template. It's pretty cool. Now you remember there was the option to ask a question. I think it was right here. What this was doing is jumping us all the way down to page 7, which is after our order form. And here is the questions page. Let's look at a few more of the elements here. We've seen kind of the basic stuff like headers and names and contact information. If we get down to special, we can have hidden fields. This is going to give you the ability to track the source of your respondents. So whether they're coming from email, Facebook, things like that. We can, of course, enter in a date. We can enter in names, websites, file uploads. Again, that's limited to 5 gigabytes for your account. Really nice touch. You can have signatures here. So you'll be able to, actually, let's go ahead and put this up at the top. Let's add in another signature and we can preview what this looks like, because I think this is going to be a feature that people are interested in. Go ahead and open the preview here. All right, so here is the signature field, and I can just go ahead and sign it with my mouse here. I'm not gonna go and do the whole thing. You can see it looks like you're scribbling on one of those screens at the supermarket. I think having this signature field here is gonna be really important to people, so you can do things like proposals right inside of your forms. Now, will it hold up in a court of law? I don't know. It's not really a legally binding e-signature, but it certainly is better than nothing. And I think for most people, when they go ahead and sign a proposal or something like that, it's showing their intent to follow through with the agreement. Now, this section down here, this is the cards section. That's what we're looking at with all of the different images. That's how they got the rows. We can edit this to have a different number of columns if we want. We can move it anywhere from up to 4 different columns. So we can have all of these items on a single line if we prefer that look. Then we can have surveys, right? So we can do, we can collect maybe testimonials, or, you could send out surveys to find out what people think of your business. You could build out something kind of like Endorsal or Starfish Reviews, both products we've reviewed here, where you could ask people how you're doing and then send them off to different directions afterwards. Like you want to get reviews on Google or something like that. Here's a few of their different survey options. We can have what they call a matrix here, where we can rate something from good to fair to excellent. We can choose a little scale here if we want to rate something very poor, above average. And then of course there's also a slider. Let's add that one in. And the slider we can move, this is very much like that LTD Life website, where you can go rate your own reviews. We've got a little slider over there, and you can choose a score between 1 and 10 with all of the point increments along the way. Add your own reviews of the LTDs, very much like that. It took us a lot more work writing that in JavaScript and CSS than just dragging and dropping in a slider. We can also build out quizzes. So here is what a quiz question might look like. And then at the end of the quiz, you can display the score to your student, and you do need to have in this hidden field right here. If you want to move stuff around, there are these handy dandy little arrows, so I can just kind of zoom it to a different part of the form. Now, I will say that if you're going to build out a quiz, you probably want to start with one of their templates. It'll be, formatted nicely. I'm kind of destroying this Instagram landing page right now by adding in every single element possible. So let's take a look at the PayPal element right here. So here they have the different items that you can buy, the quantity selector. Over in the designer over here, we have the ability to choose which currency we want. You can see there's quite a few currencies available. You can set up your PayPal account, your email address right here, and you'll choose whether you want to do a product selection, maybe a custom amount that changes this right here, or you can do a fixed amount. So you're saying, buy this product for this much money, and you can give the PayPal product a name, enter in the amount that you want to charge, and then there's the ability to change this little icon over here in the corner. So setting up the PayPal integration, super easy. No Stripe, so that's worth noting, but the PayPal integration does look really good. Just a couple more elements to check out. We've got the terms and conditions and newsletter sign up. So let's drag that one in. Here is the terms and conditions, just kind of a GDPR type of checkbox. I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions. And then we have a newsletter sign up, which is really a GDPR type of checkbox right here. I agree to receive newsletters, and we won't spam you, and you can always unsubscribe. So that is the different checkboxes. Those are all the elements essentially. I think we've covered everything here that's worthy of looking any more detail into. Now, let's look at some of the publishing options. So when you're ready to publish your form, you go right over here to where it says publish. You want to turn the form status to published, and then you've got your link right here. It's kind of an ugly link by default, but you can change the URL, and this is going to use up one of those 5 subdomains for one code over that goes along with your AppSumo plan. So the problem with having a subdomain is not just that you're going to have the Aidaform in the URL, but you're also going to be competing with other Aidaform users to get the exact subdomain that you want. So you might not end up with your exact brand name, or maybe the name that you want to end up with. It could be taken before you get there. Your other options are to embed this on a page, which you can just copy right here. There's some configuration options to display it in different dimensions. And then you can also turn on this real-time dashboard to see responses as they come in. I think that's pretty cool. We'll look at that in a second. And here's kind of a nice touch. If you want to offer this form for other people to use, maybe you're an influencer and you're trying to teach people things, you can turn on clone form link, and then on your form, people will be able to copy it, set up their own account, and use the form on their own pages. So after you've sent your form out, people are going to start filling it out and you want to view the results. So over here in the results page, you can see people answering your form. Now I actually sent out this test form to the Facebook group. Make sure you check it out over at facebook.com/groups/thatltd.life. You can check that out and you can find out, we're having conversations about this deal all day. So 51 views here. There's been 18 responses and 33 people have left without actually filling out the form. So you can see that most people are coming in on their phone. So this is fully mobile responsive. It works great on mobile. The rest of the people are coming through on desktop, nobody using tablet. And we can see the little graph here comparing how many people completed versus how many people left. We also go over to the response summary where I can see a list of everybody who's answering a particular question. So this is going to group questions together with the most common answers. So you can see here there's 22 different answers. Most people are just entering in, tester, tester, boy, testerson, things like that. And we do that for each question. You can get kind of a bulk look at how people are answering the questions. We can also go over to the response inbox, which will just show us on a case-by-case basis exactly how people filled out a form. So if you're doing things like intake forms or maybe getting clients to submit information for a website design, you're probably going to want to go through the response inbox. However, if you're doing things like surveys, then the response summary is going to be much more helpful. Here is that real-time dashboard that we mentioned just a moment ago. So you could visit this and see the replies as they're coming in. You can see most people that answered. It looks like everyone who's answered has been from the United States here. We've got reviews, 2 responses, and the most frequently answered. Looks like everyone's choosing asparagus. That's kind of interesting because it was the second one down. Just a psychology thing, I guess. You click on it and you don't want to go right to the first one. And we've got chocolate chips right here. I don't remember where that was in the position, but this is what the dashboard looks like. If you're getting hundreds or thousands of replies, then maybe this will be interesting to you. I think for most people, just checking that inbox or looking at how the responses are coming in through the survey mode, I think that's probably going to be most useful. Finally, how does it look when you embed it? Well, let's go ahead and find out here. I'm inside WordPress. I'm just going to choose custom HTML. I will paste in my embed code that I got from the dashboard. Again, that's right under publish and then right here where it says embed on a web page. And let's go ahead and hit publish and let's view the page. All right, it loaded pretty quickly. That is always a concern. You can see that I probably didn't make this the right dimensions because I actually have to scroll in the embed. Let's go ahead and play with those embed settings. Okay, so I went ahead here and just removed the height parameter, made sure this full height form is checked. Let's go ahead and go back to our embed code and we'll enter it in here and we'll paste it in here, hit update. There we go. This time it loaded properly. I don't have to scroll anywhere. So I think that's probably going to be the key. You'll want to leave that height section blank so that your content fills out the page, loads naturally. All right, so this review's been pretty positive so far, but not all is well here. Let's talk about the cons. Well, the first thing that I don't like about this software is you can't change the font, and they didn't really just choose a very boring and vanilla font either. So this one has definitely some personality to it. The way the F doesn't quite have the line that goes all the way through the letter. This isn't going to work for some brands, just flat out. They're going to want to use their branded fonts, and you can't do that. So let's say I clicked here. I can edit the copy, of course. I can format this how I want. I can change it to be left aligned. I can make it be center aligned. I can go to the form designer over here. I can change the style of the buttons from small to large. I can make the pills. I can make we can do a lot of styling to the actual form itself, right? I can change the different themes, but the one thing you can't do is change the font. It's just kind of a glaring omission in my mind. You might have been wondering about this graphic element here. They call this a ribbon. It's very easy to turn off. It might be bugging some people out there. I kind of like it. I think it looks good. I've got this little slider. You can make it bigger or smaller. The next issue I have is there's no integrations. If you look at something like Typeform or Jotform, they're going to have a page that is very, very long, full of all the different integrations they have. Versus over on Aidaform, we've got Google Sheets, Discord, and Slack, as well as webhooks. Those are available to us, but there's no integrations with Aweber or ActiveCampaign or Klaviyo, or they say MailChimp is coming soon. Can't use ConvertKit. Anything that you might want to connect this to get the forms for people to sign up for your email list, things like that. That is definitely not going to work. You can export the data as CSV. But then you got to do the whole export import thing, and it's just an unnecessary step. There's not even Zapier yet. It's a roadmap item, but it's not there. And then finally, I just want to mention again, the fact that there's no custom URLs, so you can't have your own CNAME set up with your form, I think is going to be something they want to change quickly, I hope, because they're going to be hearing about that pretty much nonstop from the AppSumo community. It really is otherwise this is a really beautiful, unique looking form builder. And man, if they would add in those custom fonts, give me my own URL, and then, allow me to connect up at least through Zapier. I don't like Zapier, but give me something so that I can get the information out in a little bit more usable way. And man, that's all the boxes checked, right? People are going to be very excited about that. So hopefully those things happen soon, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So final thoughts, this is a great form builder. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I actually prefer using this to using PaperForm. The PaperForm form builder has always felt a little bit clunky to me, and then getting people to enter the responses, it's okay. It's definitely not a bad form builder. I do like it. However, I like how this looks and feels a lot better. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the review, it just feels, a little bit whimsical and fun to use. And when you're entering in forms, they're pretty boring. It's nice to have that touch. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an 8.3. It just needs to add in those extra features I just mentioned, and then it will be an absolute knockout. I think they've got a great product on their hands at Aidaform. If this review has been helpful to you, you can click the link down below. That is our referral link for the channel. Kicks us back a small commission when you go ahead and make a purchase with our link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but helps us keep the lights on over here at that LTD.life so we can make more reviews like this one. Now, leave me a comment down below. I want to know, what do you think is the best LTD for a form builder of all time? We've got PaperForm in one corner. Of course, now there's Aidaform. There's also been things like Pabliforms, was called Getform. At the time, it was a LTD. Let me know, what do you think is the best one out there? I really think this one is up near the top of the list. Once they get some more integrations, it's gonna be amazing. All right, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next review.